File number 001. Topic: the shelter crisis. Parties: the landlord versus the tenant. Shelter, the most basic human need. Yet in cities across the world, it has become the most contested battlefield. On one side, those who own the walls. On the other, those who need them to survive. Both claim to be victims. Both believe they are right. The archive does not judge. It only records. The debate begins.
Let me be clear, housing is not a commodity. It's a human right. When you treat shelter, the place where people sleep, where children grow up, where families exist, as just another investment opportunity, you weaponize survival. Landlords sit in their second, third, fourth properties while single mothers work 2 jobs and still can't make rent. The system isn't broken, it's working exactly as designed to extract wealth from the powerless and funnel it to those who already have enough.
And there it is, the emotional appeal. But let me ask you something. Who pays for this right? I do. The landlord does. I purchased that property with my savings. I took out loans. I carry the risk. When the pipes burst at 2 a.m., I pay for it. When the market crashes, I lose equity. And when a tenant stops paying rent, I still owe the bank. I still owe the city. But somehow, I'm the villain. You want housing to be a right. Fine. Nationalize it. Let the government own every building. But don't demonize individuals for participating in the only system that exists.
You talk about risk? Let me tell you about risk. The risk of sleeping in your car because you got sick and couldn't work for 3 weeks. The risk of watching your kids lose their school district because you were evicted. The risk of being 1 paycheck away from homelessness in the wealthiest nations on earth. Your risk is financial. Theirs is existential. And let's be honest, most landlords aren't individuals anymore. They're corporations, private equity firms, buying up entire neighborhoods, pricing out locals, turning housing into a speculative asset class. You say you're participating in the system. I say you're profiting from desperation.
Profiting from desperation. Beautiful rhetoric. But you know what happens when you cap rents? When you over-regulate landlords. We stop building. We stop renting. We sell. You want rent control? Look at the data. Cities with strict rent control have the worst housing shortages. Why? Because no one wants to be a landlord when the government decides you can't charge enough to cover your costs. And those corporate investors you mentioned, they exist because of policy failure. When local governments block new construction, restrict zoning, and make development impossible, supply drops, prices skyrocket. Then yeah, big money comes in because it's the only game left. You want affordable housing? Build more of it. But you can't tax and regulate landlords into oblivion and then act surprised when they disappear.
Build more. Always build more. As if the free market will suddenly grow a conscience. You know what gets built? Luxury units, premium lofts, developments for the wealthy, because that's where the profit is. Meanwhile, working-class neighborhoods get gutted, rebranded, sold to the highest bidder. The market doesn't solve this. The market created this. And until we treat housing as a social good instead of an investment vehicle, people will keep dying on the streets of the richest cities in human history.
Dying on the streets. And who built those shelters they're not in? Private developers, incentivized by profit. You want a villain? Blame zoning boards. Blame NIMBYs who block every project. Blame politicians who promise affordable housing and then strangle it with red tape. I'm not the enemy. I'm a participant in an economy you also live in. I pay taxes that fund public services. I maintain properties that would otherwise decay. I provide housing that wouldn't exist if I didn't take the risk. You want to change the system? Vote, organize, build political will. But don't vilify the people keeping the lights on while you wait for utopia.
File 001. Concluded. One argues from compassion, the other from pragmatism. One sees exploitation, the other sees survival. Both presented their evidence, both made their case. The archive remains neutral. The evidence has been presented. The decision is yours. The archive is closed.